Peace and more peace coming to you live from North Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Anthony Calori, and this is the Appreciate You podcast. We're going to keep it short and sweet, but I appreciate y'all for being here. We about 3/4 of the way to our goal of having 500 subscribers, and so I appreciate y'all very much. And yeah, like I said, we're going to keep it short and sweet. It's been, I want to say, exactly a year since I stopped smoking weed. And I just wanted to share what that experience has been like as someone who is now 32 years old and started smoking weed when I was 14 years old. I tried quitting for a few years and had moments in my 20s where I would stop for a few months at a time, anywhere from 1, 2, 3 to 6 months, but would always, I guess, relapse because the goal was to stop smoking weed. And I'll say, I'll start with the reasons why I wanted to stop. The first one was I really couldn't afford it. You know, I wasn't making any real money. Even in my 20s, you know. And when I say that, I mean when you're smoking every day, that shit gets expensive. And it's kind of like going out to eat every day. People say, you know, you're trying to save money to invest in another venture or save up for something. You want to go on vacation, you want to buy a car. You know, you just want to have some money in your savings account. And so they'll say stuff like, stop going out to eat and stuff like that. They want, you know, they recommend tightening up on your budget. And so it was easy to make some munchy kind of food at home and whip a bunch of bullshit together and eat something while you're stoned because everything tastes good. So, but that just, it's not enough money. And or it's not really saving you that much money. Especially, you know, you're getting high every day, you spending 20, 30, you know, you're smoking like $20 worth of weed every day, $30 worth of weed every day. And I know for some people they're smoking blunts with a whole eighth in it. And that shit ain't cheap either, you know. So you smoking just in one sitting, in one session, you smoking 30, 40, $50. Probably in a backwood or something like that. And those cost money too. So, you know, let's say, and I'm not saying I'm doing this, but for a lot of people, they're smoking probably about a quarter of weed a day. I know that's not everybody, but, you know, a lot of people can't afford that. A lot of people can't be affording to be smoking on $50 worth of weed every day. And so if you kind of got a addict brain like I do, you know, from when I wake up, middle of the day, when I go to bed, when I work out, when I do something creative, I'm smoking on some weed before I do pretty much everything. And so, shit, when you when you're broke, that those numbers don't really add up. And you got a lot of dudes. Um, you got a lot of dudes who aren't in good positions financially, can't take care of themselves, can't take their girl out on a date, can't pay for, can't get a car, can't pay to get, you know, keep up with their car insurance or their cell phone bill, and they out here smoking on big weed all every day, all week long, all month long, for years and years and years. And I, you know, for a long time, I was one of those guys. Maybe on not that level, but still, you smoking $500-600 worth of weed a month. You could, at the end of the year, have $5,000-6,000 in your pocket. You know, so That was the first reason why I wanted to quit. I just knew I was too broke to be doing that kind of shit. And something had to change. And the second reason was it just wasn't serving me anymore. I was becoming real antisocial and just feeling real weird and anxious. And I don't know if it's the new mass produced weed. And a lot of people say when they were growing up and you're just getting it from the homie or someone you know is growing it and selling it to you and just growing it out the ground and curing it and giving it to you like that. Um, I don't know. Today's weed feels like it's just something in it that ain't right. And maybe I'm tripping, and maybe I just outgrew it. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't serving me anymore. I started to feel like a man child when I was smoking. Like I'm not being myself. I'm not being who I really am, or whatever the best version of myself is. And if there is a better version of myself, I feel like I can't get there as quick as I'm supposed to, because this thing is it seems to be stunting my growth as a man. And so it was really just fucking with me. I guess physically, psychologically, emotionally, even. You start to get in your head about stuff about your relationships with people. You kind of lose time. You don't call folks as much. Just kind of bullshit. And it's not every day all the time, but those moments just add up over time where you're just kind of slowly becoming a weirdo over years and years and years, and even the kind of company that you keep around you. If you're not in a good place, if you're not where you want to be in your career, or you're not being surrounded by the kind of people that um, are where you want to be or are doing what you want to do, you kind of feel stuck in a place. And or at least I did. I don't want to speak for everybody or demonize uh, smoking some smoking some weed. It's not that big a deal. I'm just speaking from my own experience that it was stunting my growth, and it was like there was a hole in my pocket financially. And the third thing was, and I don't know if it was true or not, but having to worry about going and getting a job and pissing dirty. And I know there's some kind of laws against not discriminating against people who are smoking or piss for marijuana, but that um that I guess worry that I wouldn't get the job because I would piss dirty or something like that was kind of the final straw for me. I worked a lot of bullshit jobs when I first moved to Vegas, a lot of them, and I usually took them because they wouldn't piss test. And a lot of the higher paying jobs, whether you got to drive or operate some kind of heavy machinery, a forklift or something like that, of course they're gonna piss you or piss test you. And if you're getting high every day, you're getting high before you go to work and stuff like that, they're gonna be on you. Some stupid accident happens or whatever. I remember I pulled my back at a warehouse job moving some boxes around. And the first thing they wanted to do was send me to, if I wanted to go to the doctor, they immediately wanted to send me to go take a piss test to see if I was getting high on the job. And I think it was from that moment where I was like, man, fuck, what the fuck am I doing? Did it stop me from smoking? No. I mean, I had been doing it since I was a kid. And, but those types of things popped up all the time. And, and, uh, and so last year, I just got sick of it. Got sick of bugging out, tripping out when I would get high. The high wasn't the same anymore. It wasn't as fun anymore. It was in a real isolated space. It wasn't really a social thing anymore. And it was just something that I did all day every day. And I just didn't enjoy it anymore. And I felt like I had outgrew it. And I kind of outgrew um, talking about smoking all the time, associating myself with people who, who got high at work or wanted to smoke outside of work. I was just meeting cats who wanted to kick it. That I was like, man, I don't really like this person that much. All we have in common is that we smoke weed. And I guess it's an easy way to make friends with somebody that if you're not very social or something like that. But there's a lot of motherfuckers that I would associate with or be cool with at work or in social settings that I didn't necessarily like or want to be around. Personally speaking, not that they were bad people or anything like that, but I mean, I'm already with you at work. I don't need to be spending more time with you not doing shit, just getting high all day. And it was just stuff like that just took its toll on me and made me want to get my shit together. And I'll be honest, I still want to smoke. It's just, I feel like at first I didn't want to stop because I felt like I couldn't be as creative. I enjoyed how it felt when I would work out, and it was easy to socialize. It's easy to meet people who also smoke weed. I didn't want to feel like a square. I didn't want to feel like I was losing a part of my identity. And it was weird at first. But after about 2 months or 3 months, I felt amazing. My mind was just clear. I was able to be more personable with strangers and be able to really articulate how I was feeling or get to the bottom of what was going on with me instead of being like, all right, I don't feel good, so I'm gonna smoke. I'm not feeling creative, so I'm gonna smoke. And it was always shit that I used it as something that I couldn't find it in myself to be social or be creative or get the energy to exercise or whatever the case was. And it just took time to realize that I had all that shit inside of me. It wasn't the weed that made me who I am. And and uh and yeah. And so it's been a whole year now. And for a lot of people, I feel like they're just stuck in that rhythmic in a rhythm or in a pattern of it's just what I do. This is who I am. This is who I socialize with. This is the kind of lifestyle that I deserve in a sense. And I'm not saying that you can't be smoking weed, but a lot of people should get their, including myself, need to get their shit together before they take on habits that are that expensive. I get it if you're where you want to be in your, maybe in 5, 10, 15 years, I'll pick it up again, but it's not going to be before I'm satisfied with where I am in my life. Um, I can't keep myself in a fucked up position financially, and not have and just be getting high. I mean, it just that math doesn't add up. So um, yeah, yeah. I meant to be a little more lighthearted with this message or video, but um, sometimes I just deal with folks and all they care about is getting high, and they ain't got nothing else going on, and um, if you're somebody who has ambition, you have goals, you want to be somewhere in your life, you ain't got no paper, you ain't got no money, you're wondering how this person was able to invest in their goals and get that kind of equipment so they can invest in whatever it is. It's probably because they don't have as many vices as you. I mean, it's kind of that simple, and it's cool. I'm not coming from a place of judgment. It's just logistically, a lot of people can't afford to be, including myself, just be getting high every day fucking around and acting like whatever it is that they need to do, whatever it is they need to be successful isn't inside of them. It's not it's not outside of you. Whatever it is you're trying to do, be creative, socialize, just be cool, just be yourself and be uncomfortable. And that's what it's going to take. Being uncomfortable for a little bit, being frustrated. I'm not anymore, but I was very irritable. I could not eat for the first, I don't even know, probably 2, 3 months. Had no appetite whatsoever, and I was pissed all the time. But at the same time, my mind was clear. I could deal with people better, and I just took it day by day. And slowly, I was just like, man, I can't. At this point, I can't even imagine being blown again. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine just being lit right now. I'd lose my shit. And so um yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess the point of it is to tell anybody, if you're trying to give up the herb, just give it up. If you gotta get on some, wean yourself off of it, that's cool. But the best way is to just stop. If you gotta use nicotine to get off of it, hey, whatever it takes, But the idea is to just have a clear mind and stop being broke and stop being stuck in the same place, going in circles with your thought patterns and your ideas. And stop thinking that you're some kind of fucking rock star, because you're not. And if you are, good for you. But a lot of us are living this fantasy in our head that, like, yeah, we, you know what I mean? You're not, you ain't that. At least not yet. And when you are, by all means, do your thing. But um, spending money on some shit that you can't afford to do, uh, stunting your growth as a man or as a person. You just got to get your priorities together, just like I do, and I'm still doing. I'm still getting my shit together. It still ain't easy, but my mind is much clearer on what it is I need to do today and tomorrow, and what I want my future to be like. And before, I would just have 100 ideas and not really get any of them done, because I'm doing 100 things in a day, and I'm just out of my fucking mind, not thinking clearly. And if you tell yourself, "Oh, I can't do it without it," I mean, then hey, then so it is. You can't do it without it. I used to feel that way too, but now I can't even imagine doing it with it. I just That shit was a long road, 14, how many 17 years of getting high damn near every day. Um yeah, and you know, I just that's it. That's it. That's it. I don't really hope anything, and I'm not trying to lecture anybody. But I know there's a lot of people out there who want to give it up and feel like they can't. And it's not that big a deal. You do it or you don't. It's your life. But get your shit together. If your shit ain't together, you gotta put your real priorities for first and grow up. Can't be man children forever. I look at it like I started doing when I was 14. Last year I was 31. Am I really doing something that I started doing when I was 14 years old? Why? You know, you got to let that shit kind of die and at least just get a hold of yourself. Can't be having habits that you had as a teenager, as a grown man. It shouldn't be a habit. If you want to smoke some herb, you know, do your thing. But if that shit's got a grip on you, just do yourself try to do yourself a favor and just give it up for a little bit and see how you feel. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Um, yeah. But anyway, that's it. That's it. I'm not gonna drag this shit out. It's all good. Do your thing. Ain't no judgment on my side. I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to myself as well. So always remember that I'm not lecturing anybody. I'm not just I'm these are all reminders for myself as well to just grow up. Grow up. Take it one day at a time. Get your shit together and stay positive, man. So I'll talk to y'all soon.